Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how I go about getting mural commissions and how the process is to painting a mural. So I'm still pretty new at this. I've only done 4 or 5 murals now, but this is how my experience has been so far. So I guess I'll use the example of the mural I currently am working on. I actually got this gig from just word of mouth. Someone had seen one of my murals in town and pretty much just hit me up about it and asked if I was interested. So the first step, when someone asked me if I would like to do a mural, I pretty much just ask them the details of like what they want. So, what kind of drawing do they want? I ask how big the wall is, like what the dimensions are, if they have pictures of the wall just to see what kind of state it's in. When they send me all that, I pretty much just write up a price sheet. So this one, for example, was all funded by grant money by the city council. So they needed a really nice price sheet just to know what they were paying for, so the grants could actually come through. So what I did was I just wrote up a price sheet. I charge per square foot, so this honestly depends on the drawing. So if the design is really complicated, I'll probably charge 20 per square foot. If it's kind of more of like a simpler drawing, I'll charge 10 per square foot. So yeah, pretty much. And then I add whatever costs, like for example, for this one, I would be driving 1 hour to go paint. So I add in, the cost factors of driving. I add in materials, if I wouldn't need any scaffolding, if I need to pay anybody to help me. And I pretty much just include all that. I also include the price. For example, this wall was in pretty bad condition. I was going to have to resurface it and prime it and all that, and prep it, a lot of prepping. So I added that to the labor costs. And after I got all that good, I pretty much, it's like a little contract. So I usually email it and then they sign it electronically. And then just so we have that time, I've dealt with people where it's just a miscommunication and they think they said something. So it's always better just to have it in writing. So then they sign it and then you can always go back to it and be like, no, but this is what was the deal. Pretty much I just ask for half the money now and then half the money when I finish, just so I can pay for all materials and everything. Sent out some sketches, just some really basic sketches, just so they could see kind of an idea. And usually what I do is I sketch it out and then I, using Procreate, I just literally put the sketch on the wall just so they can get more of an idea of it. And again, I'm not spending too much time on these sketches because it's I'm not getting paid yet, so I'm just giving them the ideas just so they can see if that's what they want or not. First things first, I went up there with a friend who helped me out, and we prepped the wall. We we power washed it. We tore a lot of the paint off. There was a lot of moisture bubbles stuck inside the paint. There was 3 layers of primer on this, old primer on this thing. So it was a lot of prepping. It was a full day's work of just prepping. And then we went in and we just primed the surface just with primer. So yeah, one thing I have learned about painting murals, especially outside, is prepping the wall and making sure you have a good surface to work on is almost more important than the painting itself, because without a good base, the paint just won't last, and also it's just annoying to paint on a bad surface. We even got a little border on the wall so moisture wouldn't get trapped in the paint, because I noticed that was a problem that they had. That's why there was a lot of moisture in that old primer, is because the paint would just get in the concrete, So then we got that boarded up on the top. After that, I pretty much went in and did the base coat of the blue for the background. And then I added a bunch of little shapes. And so this is how I pretty much, I use these shapes to grid out my drawing. So this is called the lazy grid method. So it's kind of just a grid method. So people usually use a grid method to they have a grid on their small drawing and then they just pretty much size it up, and that's how they get their dimensions. Well, a lot of muralists now, they use something called the lazy grid method, which is essentially just it can be just random ass shapes. A lot of people use numbers or just doodles. And so after you have that on the wall, you go in, you take a picture of it, you make sure it's nice and straight and not distorted. And then on Procreate, you go ahead and add in your drawing that's just that you drew on your iPad, like your sketch, and then you lower the opacity like I did here, and you can see where your lines are, and you just use that as like a marker to know, where to line everything out. So that's as far as I've gotten. It's been raining a lot, so I haven't had a chance to go out there, so hopefully this week I can go. But yeah, pretty much I can tell you what I'm gonna do next. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna outline the whole thing with black paint where I need all the lines, and then pretty much just like get to painting it. For outdoor murals, I just, obviously I just use like outdoor or exterior latex, like water-based paint, and spray paint also. And then I definitely tend to, especially if they're paying for materials, I definitely tend to, it's just better to buy pricier paint, because the quality does go a long way. Yeah, especially in like bad weather conditions and all that. So pretty much that's it. I just go in, I paint it, and then I use a sealer, and I usually just do two coats of sealer on top of it, and that's it. And then it's done.